The hard fact is that most film festivals and competitions require filmmakers and screenwriters to pay a submission fee when they want to send their work to the event for consideration. These fees are often broken up into tiers that reflect on the type of project and even the time it is submitted to the festival. It can be confusing to a novice who is ready to put their first project into competition. It's also easy to imagine that festivals just charge submission fees because they are greedy and the event directors are swimming in gobs of cash provided by the poor filmmakers who have already spent a fortune just to make the movie. And truth be told, there are some contests out there that are just like that. However, the majority of film festivals and competitions are legitimate, and there are some good reasons why they have to charge submission fees. Producing a film festival event is not without a lot of overhead costs. Even if the festival has some sponsors, they will still have a lot of little things that add up quickly. Typical expenses for a festival include renting the location, purchasing the red carpet setup, advertising, compensating judges, legal expenses, and obtaining any physical awards. The bigger the festival, the bigger the bill it racks up. Additional costs could include providing concessions, guest celebrity speakers, cash prizes, and another venue for an elaborate awards ceremony or parties. Many legitimate festivals never see a profit, and if they do, they often put it right back into improving the event. Even online festivals and contests have some expenses. Advertising, jury compensation, and physical awards are the most common. Although some online festivals also pay for a secure channel service in order to safely show films online to their ticket holders. The practice of increasing fees as the final submission deadline nears may seem shady on the surface, but there are also some good reasons for a festival to strongly encourage submissions to be made as early as possible. It takes a lot of time to organize a film festival, and getting a head start on anything that can be accomplished before the final selections are made does not make the event planning go smoother. At the same time, raising the fees toward the end of the submission period helps to cut down the amount of incoming projects that the judges have to evaluate. Being that they are on a firm deadline to announce their selection decisions, the last thing anyone wants is for members of the jury to start rushing through the submissions. One very important thing that every filmmaker and screenwriter should know is that paying a submission fee does not guarantee your project will be selected for the festival. It helps to think about it as being a competition where the first elimination round happens off screen. A very common practice for festivals is to make their submission fees non-refundable. While this may seem strange at face value, there are also good reasons for this. Obviously, an event relies on submission fees to even exist, as noted before. However, it also helps a lot in the judging process. For many events, the jury gets to work shortly after the first submission comes in. If a festival refunds fees, it is likely to get quite a few submitters who withdraw their entry in order to make some changes before resubmitting it. Just a few people engaging in this kind of submission behavior can really throw a wrench in the system, especially if the judges are compensated for each time they evaluated the project. Many festivals will allow you to submit a newly revised version of your project, but they will require it to be accompanied by its own submission fee and will be treated like a separate entry with its own ID number for the jury. As a rule of thumb, festivals will only issue refunds on submission fees if the event itself is canceled. After having paid submission fees, it is very easy to feel like you have just been throwing your money away if your project is not selected for a festival. This is a big reason why you should do your research before submitting so you can determine if it is worth the gamble to you. There are a lot of reasons why projects get rejected, as mentioned in some of the previous videos. Some festivals, like the Magic of Horror, do offer some feedback to everyone who submits a project. This is meant to help the filmmaker or writer by giving them some insight as to how their project was viewed by complete strangers. Feedback can range anywhere from being just the scorecard used by the judges to a professional film analysis or script coverage. There are also some festivals that offer feedback for an additional fee, which are often a discounted rate from professional services. There are hundreds of festivals out there, and the submission fees can vary wildly from one event to the next. It really helps to set a budget for yourself and to research each event before submitting in order to improve your chances of being accepted into as many of them as possible.